And we are back on the CS podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafel, and I'm now joined by former NFL running back Patrick Cobbs. Thanks for joining the show, Pat. How's it going?
It's going well, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's a pleasure. And Pat, we'll talk about your playing career, and then we'll talk about what's happening with your former team, the Miami Dolphins. Does that sound all right?
Sounds all right, yeah.
All right, so you attended the University of North Texas and played in every game as a true freshman. You played in every game as a sophomore. And as a junior, you led the nation in rushing with over 152 yards per game. As a freshman or as a sophomore, did you ever think that you would have, that kind of impact on the North Texas football team, during your junior year that you had?
You know what? I didn't. As a freshman, I was just scratching and clawing, trying to get on the field. However that happened, I was ready to do it, whether that be special teams. You had to come in every once in a while and give the starter a breather. As a freshman, as a sophomore, that kind of gave me a little bit more, got a little more opportunities at the running back position. And then I guess the conference man knew something because they, without me even being a starter, they voted me as the preseason offensive player of the year, and then I just followed it up and lead the nation in rushing, which was pretty remarkable. So I think they knew more than I did. I guess all my peers, and all the other coaches in the league that voted on that. So it ended up working out.
Due to injuries, you went on to redshirt what would have been your senior year, and you were able to play the next season. Patrick Cobbs, you finished your college football career at North Texas as North Texas's all-time leader in rushing with 4,050 yards, and was only the 69th player in NCAA history to hit 4,000 rushing yards. Overall, how would you describe your college experience?
If I could do college all over again, I would. It was some of the best years of my life. I was able to get 2 degrees while I was there, and it was just the football atmosphere and everything was just a blessing. It was awesome being a part of a program that won 4 straight bowl games while I was there. I was lucky enough to do that, which is rare at North Texas because before that they had a game in 20-something years, and we happened to go to one and turn around and go to 4 of them. So it was great.
Chris Shanafel talking with former NFL running back Patrick Cobbs. And Pat, you entered the 2006 NFL draft. You went undrafted. Now, I know North Texas isn't the biggest school out there, but what you did there was impressive. You had a lot of success. What was your reaction to not getting drafted?
It was the same old story for me. Coming out of high school, I did everything possible at the high school level to, I felt like, to earn a big-time scholarship from a so-called big-time school. Led 4A in rushing, the All-State, first-team All-State, offense and defense. But I didn't get any phone calls right before I committed to North Texas, Oklahoma State, or right after, I guess. I committed to North Texas, Oklahoma State came in the picture, but I stuck to my guns. North Texas has been there from day one, so I went to North Texas, and that kind of followed me throughout my career. I had a successful college career, and then at the end of it, same thing happened in the NFL. So I wasn't shocked that I wasn't drafted. I was kind of been overlooked a lot of my career, and luckily Bill Belichick seen something in me, and they offered me a tryout and signed me the next day. And the crazy part about that story is I went up there with just 2 changes of clothes, thinking I was only going to be up there for the weekend, and they signed me, and I ended up staying for 6 months. And so I had to go back and get some more clothes and have some stuff shipped out to me, and the whole deal. It was a crazy part of my life, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
And how quick would you say your phone started ringing after the draft? And why was New England the place you decided to go? Were they the only team that gave you that phone call?
They were actually the only team that gave me a phone call. I actually had, 2 weeks after the draft, nobody had called. Besides the Canadian football team, they'd offered me a pretty nice contract for a rookie up there, and I was getting ready to sign it, and right before I signed it, they offered me a tryout at the rookie camp, and I went, and I'm glad I did, and it ended up being a great decision, and met some great friends, a bunch of players with the Patriots, and then Belichick ended up being a great mentor, and the rest is history.
So you would have gone to the CFL if New England would have offered you that contract. Overall, you would have said that the NFL was your goal, though, correct?
Absolutely. It's funny now that I look back on it. When I was in high school, I didn't think about college until right at the end when I started getting all the recognition from all the letters and stuff like that. And then same thing with the NFL. I wasn't thinking about the NFL. I was so concentrated on college that, coaches always say, hey, just take care of the little things and the big things will take care of themselves. And that's truly what I did. I was so focused in playing football at the college level. When it came around, the NFL, I had an offer to play and I took it. So somehow my whole life, my whole mentality has always been just focus on what you got control over, and then let the rest take care of itself.
And you said you were with New England for about 6 months, and then you were traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And one day after the first regular season game, the Steelers decided to waive you and tried signing you back to their practice squad, which you declined their offer. Now, I got to think you had to be pretty confident that another team would be interested in you after not taking the Steelers' offer. And am I wrong?
No. When I got released, I had a bunch of phone calls of teams that were really interested in me. The Patriots being one of them. They wanted me to come back there and sign to their practice squad. And it really came down to the Patriots and the Dolphins. I knew it's the Patriots. I knew the system. I'd been there. Like I said, I'd been there for a while, so it had been familiar going back. But I knew that situation was full running backs. They had a bunch of veteran guys. They drafted the number one pick in Lawrence Maroney. And then there was the Dolphins who, Ricky Williams had just went out on his hiatus, and Ronnie Brown was a second-year running back, and, it was kind of thin. So I thought in Miami, so I figured, let me go to Miami's practice squad, see if I can't try to make the team, and it ended up being a good decision.
It certainly looks that way. Like you said, you went on to sign with the Miami Dolphins, where you would team up with a pretty talented running back group, like you said, with Ronnie Brown and with Ricky Williams. What were some things you learned from those guys, and what were some things maybe you think you helped in their game?
We developed a real tight-knit friendship between the running back groups. Me, Ronnie, and Ricky, Lusaka Flight, we all kind of like a band of brothers. We end up hanging a lot outside of football, and really on a brothership role. We always criticize. We were very critical of each other's football skills and stuff like that. So I could go up to Ricky and ask him a question. I could go up to Ronnie and ask him a question. They'd shoot me back the same answer, and they'd turn around and do the same thing to me. They'd be like, "Hey, how would you have ran that, or how would you have done this differently than I did," and stuff like that. And so it was just kind of one of those things that we just we bounced things off of each other, and we ran with it. And that was the beauty of having a bunch of veterans at running back.
What was going on in your head when you scored that first NFL touchdown? Can you tell us a bit about that?
I don't know which one you're talking about, but I can tell you the one that the very first one is with the Patriots. The crazy part about it was the very first time I'd actually ever touched the ball in the NFL, and it went 57 yards for a touchdown. It was pretty exciting. I scored. I really didn't know what to do. It was so surreal when it happened. That was the first time I touched the ball in the NFL. Was when went 57 yards for a touchdown against the Atlanta Falcons with the Patriots. But scoring my first NFL touchdown, ironically, in a Dolphins uniform, was against the Patriots, and that was special as well. It kind of meant a little something to me to be out touchdown against the team that gave me my very first opportunity. And a lot of those guys on the other sideline were happy for me after the game. We ended up getting beat by them, but after the game, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and those guys, came by and shook hands and told me they were proud of me for all the work that I'd put in. So it was good.
And in 2010, you were selected as one of 4 team captains of the Miami Dolphins. I got to think that meant a lot. Am I wrong?
No, it meant a whole lot. All the work and all the work that I put in week and week out, from being a practice squad guy for 10 or 11 weeks on the Dolphins practice squad to 2007, busting in on special teams, just trying to make a roster. To next year, getting a little piece of the offense and making the most of it, and then going through an injury in 2009, and then coming back and battling back in 2010, and my peers voted me as the team captain. It meant a lot. It meant that all my hard work that I was doing and the stuff that people were noticing it, and to be voted as team captain was a big honor.
Now, as a player that used to play special teams, there's a whole lot of talk now that the NFL is thinking about taking kick returns out of the game. I mean, this is how some people, make a living now, just being special teams aces. What would you, what would you think if the NFL decided to take kick returns out of the game?
I don't like it at all. I mean, kickoffs and kick returns, part of the game. I mean, it's all part of the game. Contact's part of the game. I don't like the way they're trying to take contact out of the game. People know when they sign up for football that there's collisions. It's a physical sport, and to take the physicality out of football just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. There's got to be a little give and take. I mean, I completely understand that. It's all about protecting the athletes, but it's something that I really don't have the right answer for. I do not want to see special teams go out of the game of football. I just feel like it'd be like taking fighting out of hockey. It just wouldn't make sense.
It really wouldn't. It really wouldn't. And then you see guys, like a Devin Hester or like a Travis Benjamin returning these touchdowns, and I think that just makes the game a whole lot better. And next question for you, Patrick, and that is, what would you say is the most memorable moment of your professional football career?
The most memorable moment would have to be, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot. Going to the playoffs, 1-15 to getting the chance to play in a playoff game. I mean, we went 1-15 in 2007 and turned around in 2008 and went 11-5, and being a part of that 11-5 team on offense and being a big part of the Wildcat and us taking it all the way to the playoffs. I wish we could have went a little further in the playoffs, getting beat in the first round by the Ravens wasn't a blast, but being able to be a part of a playoff experience was probably one of my most memorable moments. And I played well. I think I led the team in receiving yards in that playoff game. So, I mean, that is one of the things that I'll take and run with the rest of my life.
Hey, man, can't go wrong with that. Chris Shanfeld talking with former Miami Dolphins running back Patrick Cobbs. Pat, the Dolphins are going through a lot right now, man. Offensive guard Richie Incognito has been suspended indefinitely for allegedly bullying fellow offensive lineman Jonathan Martin. Now, I believe you spent one season with Incognito, and I just got to ask, are you surprised by all the news that has come out within the last week?
I am surprised, and I'm not sure if I spent 1 or 2 years with Richie. I think it was 2, but either way, I know Richie pretty good. Richie's a great teammate. I believe he's a great teammate. I'm saddened that all of this has gotten out because I feel like it's a team issue, and it should have been brought to as a team, and it should have never got out of the locker room. I know those guys up there. They're all good guys. I find it hard for there to be any harm in anything that went on up there. I don't know the young fella Martin, so I can't really speak to kind of what he was going through. But I know all the rest of the guys. I know the Heartlines and the Incognitos and all those guys up there. And for them for me to think that they really meant harm or anything like that would kind of be. I don't think that's kind of what it was.
And you said Richie Incognito was a great teammate. How was that? How is he a great teammate? I mean, now I've never been in the NFL locker room, but he does have a reputation from other NFL players as, you know, one of the most dirtiest players in the NFL. How did Richie Incognito treat you?
Well, he treated me fine. I mean, Richie is one of those guys. He's an old school, grinded out, beat you up kind of a player. And he's exactly what you want on your offensive line if you're a running back or if you're a quarterback, because he's going to give you a bit of everything that he has out on the field. I mean, he's not going to leave anything in the locker room or anything for the locker room. He's going out there and he's putting his lines down in and down out, and I respected him as a player for that. Now, outside of the lines, Richie was a different guy, but inside the lines, he's one of those guys that you want on your team. He's a true teammate, and that was my experience with Richie Incognito. I don't have too many bad things to say about the guy.
Well, you know, this story is only about a little over a week old, but it really isn't looking good for both Incognito or Martin. I'm sure more will come out about this situation. And with that being said, Pat, I got to say thank you very much for your time on the show, man. It was a true pleasure. Before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to plug on the air for myself and our listeners?
Yeah, man. I love the game of football. It's always been a part of my life. I was blessed to play it, and right now I think I'm going to further my career in football by trying to step up to the college level, hopefully get a job this coming year, and be able to take it to the next level for my players. So appreciate you having me on the show. It's been an honor, and thanks for having me.
Hey, wishing you nothing but the best, Pat. Thanks again for your time, and hope we can stay in touch. Take care.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye.